I don't know if you've ever seen a mustard seed. They're tiny, like they're so small that you would struggle to hold them between your fingers. But they produce trees that have thick trunks, wonderful branching leaves. Hansi, branching leaves. Wonderful branches. You know what? I'm not a nature person. I can't describe nature in a very vivid way. But just know that they produce nice big trees, right? These trees are quite imposing. Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed which a man took and planted in his field. Though it's the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree. Again, Jesus was talking about the kingdom of heaven, but I think you can apply it to everything in life. And that's the crazy thing. The smallest decisions in life, these small seeds that we just plant by deciding to do one small thing, can lead to consequences that are so big that they seem out of proportion to the initial decision, right? And these consequences may be extremely positive, they may be extremely negative. One small decision could lead you to becoming a billionaire one day, but another small decision could lead you facing life in prison. Everything that you can see, things that people have built, success that people have achieved, began with a small thought, a small tiny little seed. And then from this seed came a small decision. And on the other hand, many of the terrible things that are happening right now, many of the monstrosities of this world, they began with the same little seed, a small tiny little seed. And they grew up into a forest of destruction. If there's one thing that I truly know, and I know I'm always saying if there's one thing, Aku pointed that out. Will I ever stop saying if there's one thing that I know? Probably not. But anyways, if there's one thing that I know, is that this world favors growth and progression. So things aren't going to stay stagnant. They're going to grow. And whether it's a positive thing or negative thing, it doesn't matter. It is going to grow. I want you to think about your greatest achievement thus far. It may just be getting out of bed because I don't know what you're doing. And think about how it started. Did you have this grand thought of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this? Or you're just like, you know what, this seems interesting. I might as well try this. Or let me try a bit harder. That was a small mustard seed. And the only reason you ended up achieving that great thing is because you nourished that seed. You planted it, you watered it, you put fertilizer, you made sure that there was sunlight going on it. And before you knew it, achievement. Even the thing that you regret most probably started in the same manner. Just a small seed where you're like, you know what? That looks interesting. We have an abundance of mustard seeds to choose from in our life. But we don't have infinite space in our life. We can't grow every single tree. We can't attend to every single seed. So I think life is about choosing which seeds you want to grow and which ones you want to neglect. Those small positive actions that you take, those little interests that you have that you can't help but pay attention to, nourish them, protect them, dive into them, because you never know where things are going to take you. Everything is a mustard seed. Out of those small positive actions, those small interests can blossom something huge, something that can totally change your life. When you analyze these people who have achieved enormous amounts of success, you'll find that they never did anything out of the ordinary day to day. Just like how you'd take care of a mustard tree that you're trying to grow. It always starts off with a tiny little seed. And then what do you do day to day? You water it. Sometimes you put fertilizer, but that's pretty much it. You water it. You may even trim the branches, just pruning the tree. But if you continue doing these small actions day to day, watering the tree, pruning the branches, adding fertilizer, before you know it, you'll see that you have a huge mustard tree. And that's the way our life is. We don't have to do tremendous things day to day. We don't have to carry the boulder from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. We just have to take step after step after step after step. And day to day, it'll seem like you're doing nothing. But then you never know where you'll go. But with these people who have achieved greatness, it's not that they did extraordinary things. They just did ordinary things for an extraordinarily long period of time. Right now, we don't necessarily have to believe that we're going to achieve something great. All we have to do is carry on taking a step after step after step. Because let's say a mustard seed had a brain, and that mustard seed was looking at that huge tree. Do you think a mustard seed this small would believe is going to turn out to be 30 meters tall? Probably not. It's just focused on going to the next level. And that's all you can focus on.